Hey, does the government have any sort of acts that can protect home buyers?
Got a HDL?
What's that? What's up everybody, welcome to VC. My name is Vincent.
And I'm Chloe.
So for our topic of the day, today we'll be talking about the HDA. Have you heard about HDA? Because not just new home buyers, but many experienced home buyers are not even aware that they are protected by this HDA, which is also known as the Housing Development Act.
HDA covers quite a lot of things, which includes the defect liability period, management of strata title issues, and safeguarding against unscrupulous developers for a specific period. And just for your information, this is only for the primary market, which are properties under development or bought from developers, and it is only for residential properties only. It was implemented based on three main objectives of checking the abuse of the infant housing industry, to regulating the activities of the housing developers, and to protect house buyers for a certain period.
Yep, many buyers in these previous years have been affected by properties being abandoned very often. Therefore, the HDA was being implemented to protect the buyers and to make sure that the developers are following the law. Any issues between the purchaser and the developer regarding this can be elevated to the home buyer tribunal established under this act.
You're now probably wondering, so special meh? What do they protect us from even? So first things first is HDA ensures that only licensed developer can advertise their properties, which means developers must have the advertising permit and developer's license known as APDL to advertise their property.
Yet with the APDL given by the local housing authorities, developers are closely monitored by the authorities to comply with the rules. For example, they cannot mislead the buyers through any false advertising, and since the APDL contains information about the developers, buyers would be able to seek legal actions against these developers if anything goes wrong during this process. But if you haven't heard about APDL before, you can check it right there.
The next part would be the defect liability period. After you purchase the property and receive the keys, there's something called the defect liability period, where you get to check any defects in your property. If there's anything wrong with your unit, the developer is obligated to repair the faulty workmanship that you have discovered. So bear in mind that these repairs are not paid by the buyer, so no cost at all.
Yep, therefore under HDA Malaysia, the defect liability period would run for 24 months from the moment you receive the key to your property. For example, if you find out any cracks or leaks, you have up to 2 years to report to them and have them repaired at no cost for you.
Yes.
Which is good. Do remember that buyers should not carry out any renovation during the defect liability period, as it may worsen the defects and the developer may not be willing to cover the cost and repair for you. Basically, it means that once you start your own renovation, the defect liability period will not be valid anymore.
Yep, so the next point would be my favorite part, which is the housing development account. Under HDA, developers must open and maintain a HDA account for each of their residential developments. So what does this matter to you, right?
Yep, it is because the HDA makes sure that developers will channel the payments received from the buyers to their HDA account, and here this money would be used to pay off items such as quit rent, assessment rates, insurance premiums, cost of construction, and many more.
You wouldn't like someone taking your money and use it for something else that is not related to the development, right? Plus, you wouldn't want anyone to charge you randomly and separately for all these bills. So this means that the developer cannot turn around and charge you for any of those items randomly if you are already making any payments for the sale. Thus, the protections of users' rights are being enhanced.
Yep, other than that, the sales and purchase agreement will follow a standard format, so buyers are able to understand the contract and standard operating procedure better. In short, this encourages transparency and accountability, as everything is laid out clearly and very detailed in the agreement to avoid any misinterpretation. In other words, too, purchasers are protected by the law.
Additionally, buyers of strata property would also be protected under the Strata Title Act 1985, as well as the Strata Management Act 2013.
Yep, when it comes to the home loans, HDA and non-HDA will also be different. Easy to understand it, HDA are for residential properties, while non-HDA are for commercial properties. So as we mentioned a lot of times before in our previous videos, the maximum loan amount you'll be getting for commercial properties will be 85% and up to 25 years, sometimes maybe 30, or until you're 70 years old, whichever comes first.
Now, if you buy a residential property under HDA, the loan duration can go up to 35 years or until you reach 70 years old, whichever comes first.
Yep, this means that the monthly repayment for a commercial property will be slightly higher since the loan tenure is shorter, but this will be, of course, depending on the property price itself.
Yep. Yeah. However, the loan margin for your third and subsequent residential purchase would be 70%, while the non-HDA commercial property would be much higher, as you can get up to 85% still.
Yep, so much info. Been them strongs, yeah. But the interest rate also be different for non-HDA and HDA. Non-HDA properties interest rate are generally higher compared to HDA property due to the commercial elements, and it is most likely to be for business purpose. So what are the examples of properties not protected by HDA? That would be commercial properties such as SOFO, business suites, office lots, and anything else under commercial titles, and also the secondary market properties. They are classified as non-HDA properties.
Even so, some new developments with the title service apartments and SOHOs known as small office home office are under HDA too, since they are considered as housing accommodations too. Even though they are under protection of the HDA, these buildings may be built on commercial lands or hold the commercial titles. Certain expenses such as the quick rent, the assessment rates, and the utility bills may be charged according to commercial rates, which means they would be more expensive compared to those built on residential lands.
So remember to check with the salesperson or the property agent you are dealing with. The quickest way to tell if the property is under HDA is if it uses the standard sales and purchase agreement, Schedule G for landed properties, or Schedule H for high-rise properties. As a result, purchasers of the properties not protected by the HDA may find remedies and protections from the terms and conditions in the sales and purchase agreement not so standard. In this case, we would highly suggest buyer to consult a lawyer regarding the sales and purchase agreement or properly understand the agreement about the important points.
Nevertheless, if you're wondering if you should buy a residential property or a commercial property for an investment, do check out our video right here to know more, since there are actually many differences when it comes to residential property and commercial buildings. For example, the commercial rates for utility bills, quick rent, assessment fees are higher compared to residential rates.
Yep, in our opinion, the most important part of the HDA is it would be able to assist residents or owners if the property has been abandoned. So as a buyer, you would feel much safer having this back you up. Not to mention that your developer is licensed, which makes it way much safer, and it is less likely they will run with the money they collected from you, since it is kept into a different account, the HDA account.
There's no problem in purchasing a commercial property. We love commercial title properties too, especially for investment. But as a buyer, it's important to know that we are protecting ourselves and know what is happening throughout the process. That's a wrap for our video today. We do hope that you understand more about the Housing Development Act, on how it helps buyers to buy a property more safely, knowing that you are protected legally too. We hope that you enjoy your home buying process and your real estate investment journey.
So that's all from us today. Thank you for watching. If you gained some new knowledge from this video, do give us a like and consider subscribing, as we post a lot of property, real estate related content in this channel. Join the VC family and click the bell, and we will see you in the next video. Ciao!